Welcome everybody to another episode of the Eshlemania TV vlogcast here on the Eshlemania TV YouTube channel. I'm going to start out this episode by talking about a very awesome place to visit here in Pennsylvania. I consider this like the crown jewel of the suburbs of Philadelphia, down here between Lancaster County and Philadelphia, in Kennett Square, PA, mushroom capital of the world. There's a place called Longwood Gardens. If you've never heard of Longwood Gardens, man, where have you been? Longwood Gardens is a botanical garden. It was started by PRS DuPont way, way, way back when. I mean, this place has one heck of a history to it. Um, Over 1,000 acres. There's the gardens, there's woodlands, there's the meadow, and it is just it's always gorgeous to see. Year round, this place is open. Now, they do charge an admission to get in there, and it is worth the price to get in. But if you're into gardening, if you're into horticulture, if you're into plants, if you're into nature, if you're into photography, great place to take pictures and stuff down here. Um, just so many things to see. Just an absolutely amazing and just gorgeous place from one end to the other. They have a meadow with all these wildflowers and everything, and that is a huge attraction. I mean, people come from all over the country to visit this, and Longwood Gardens has actually won. Oh man, they've won so many awards. They've been voted the best horticulture, or I'm sorry, the best botanical garden in the United States a couple times. Their Christmas display that they do every year. They're like number one in the USA Today polls, for Christmas light displays and botanical gardens and things like that. And just year round, every month you go down there, there's something different to see. Because like this time of year, you've got all your flowers have already bloomed, so it's nice and colorful. In the springtime, they're starting to bloom. In the fall, you got all the leaves and everything changing colors. In the winter, man, they decorate that place up like you would not believe. Just miles and miles and miles and miles of Christmas lights everywhere. Um, it, it's there's just so much going on at this place. Like I said, it's over 1,000 acres. Um, Now, not all those 1,000 acres are, the part that's open, the garden itself, to walk around. But still, I mean, the area that is there that's done up, just absolutely awesome. And it's a lot from one end to the other. It's a lot to take in, and a lot to see. And they also have they have this conservatory where they have just all kinds of plants in there. Like you walk in the door and there's like a waterway running through there. It just reminds you of the Amazon River because there's plants on either side, like kind of tropical plants, and there's this waterway running through there and a waterfall, and you got fountains here and there. And in the conservatory, you will find all kinds of crazy stuff. There's one section with succulents and these monstrous cactuses growing in there. I mean, there's some that are growing up into the ceiling or up into the roof of the place, like 10, 15 feet tall. Just nuts. Small little cactuses, big, huge cactuses, cactuses of all kinds of shapes and sizes. They've got different kinds of fruit trees in there, growing fruit on them. Yeah, there's fountains, there's waterfalls, and you name it, you're gonna find it in this conservatory. It's like different parts of it you walk into, and it's like going to visit a jungle or going into another country because of the type of plants you see and the temperature they keep everything at. But just always awesome in there too. It's always they're always changing things around a bit, to get with the seasons and holiday events and stuff like that to get done up. And then there's one part of the garden where they have a whole bunch of different fountains out there, and they got these nice hedgerows and everything, and it's really cool seeing all the fountains out there. And then they have the big fountains where they do their fountain shows. They do fountain shows during the day, but the big attraction is their fountain and fireworks shows, and they only do those special times. And what it is they're big fountains they put on this show with the fountains, some classical music, and there's lights shining up into the fountains, and everything just kind of syncs together so that it looks like the fountains and the lights are dancing with the classical music playing, and then they're shooting off fireworks over top of the fountains. It's just it is awesome, and if you want to go to that, good luck because the tickets sell out like that. I mean, you really got to be waiting with your finger on the button, hitting that pay now or buy now button to be able to get into that one. If you want the good seats, straight ahead. You can always get the lawn seats then too, but yeah, the good seats, man, they're gone just like that instantly. But yeah, I mean, so much to see down there. In one corner, they have their Italian water garden, just all these different fountains set up there. And it's such a cool area. I mean, you can't even really put it into words how to explain it. There's several fountains out there, and it just you go down there and there's the Italian water garden, and you're standing looking out over it. You turn around, and there's a pond, and on the other side of the pond is one of their fancy big tree houses. It's the cathedral is the one there by this pond. So it's like everywhere you look in this area, it's like wow, this is just awesome. Just to stand there and take it all in. Speaking of the tree houses, they have like I want to say it's three different ones. They have the cathedral, and I know there's at least one more. Maybe I'm sure there's two more. It's been so long since I've been up in those tree houses. I mean, we're by the cathedral one pretty often. But the other two are kind of off back in. But yeah, they're really cool to check out and go up in them. And they've actually been featured on some of the TV shows about the engineering of these big tree houses or these kind of elaborate tree houses. And I think they did one episode where they were down there doing some repairs to maybe the cathedral one. So that was pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, Longwood Gardens. I mean, it's a it's an amazing place to go if you're ever anywhere close to it. Like I said, it's in Kennett Square, mushroom capital of the world. Between Lancaster County, and Philadelphia. You got to see it. Make the time to stop. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is. I mean, you can go into the conservatory and just walk around in there and spend 2 hours in there just checking everything out inside the conservatory. In the wintertime, like I said, they decorate it up for the holidays, for Christmas, with all the Christmas lights and everything. And yeah, during the day you go there, it's still cool, but nothing beats going there at night. Um, it does get dark early, so there is a longer period there at night where you can get in there and you can see all the Christmas lights and the decorations, and then you go in the conservatory and it's all lit up and everything at nighttime, and just very cool to see. And those tickets for those times they sell out pretty quick too. They let so many people into the gardens at one shot. If you go on their website, you can buy your tickets based on the time you want to go in there, and everything. They're all timed. Um, so yeah, I actually go on their website and just check out some of the information about this place, and you'll see it's got a rich history to it. Uh, it's a it's just the place when it comes to horticulture and plants and that kind of stuff. They do educational programs down there. They do so much down there at this place, and it's amazing how every year you go down there and it's they're redoing something, they're modifying, they're doing construction over here, and they're making this bigger and better. They're changing their fountains around, they're adding more fountains. They're actually right now they're actually adding on to their conservatory, making it bigger because they have so many plants there, and it's plants that you will not see anywhere else in Pennsylvania, nowhere else in the Northeast, nowhere else on the entire East Coast. Some of these plants, and they just brought back a whole bunch of plants, like these different species of plants from I think it was out in California. The one horticulture guy was telling me, it's like, holy shit, I thought you guys had everything here because you look around and there's just so many different plants inside, outside. It's amazing. Um, yeah, just so very cool. I can't just stress it enough to stop in there and check it out and just take a walk around, see the sights, just to say you've been there and see what we're talking about. Again, any time of year, it's going to be a cool little walk around there, and you'll see some really cool stuff, like I said, inside the conservatory. So you know, definitely worth the while. Um, anyway, so like I said, Longwood Gardens. I love going down there. It's an awesome place. And back in 2016, I was sitting in northern New Jersey, my first ever Automower training first ever Automower training for the entire Northeast of the United States, and they're going through everything. They're telling us about these mowers and how they work, and we're supposed to be learning, but a bunch of us are back here bullshitting and laughing and talk about snow blowers and everything else because it's like February of 2016, you know. But I remember there at that training, I remember saying to my sales rep at the time for the area, I said, "Hey, you know where we got to go try to sell these? We have to go to Longwood Gardens and try to sell these automowers down there. This would be perfect for them. No noise, quiet, you know, just be out there mowing and nobody would notice it." So we knew nothing about automowers, just what they were telling us that day. This was the first time around them, so right away it's like going through your mind, where who would want to buy these? Where can we sell these at? And that was it for me. I was like, I think that would be the place to go. So, in 2017, I 2016 was terrible for automowers. I mean, it was better than it was for the entire United States and every year before that. And 2016 was the year of the big push, and the big push was kind of a, hey, look what we got her here. It was slow. It was slow getting off the ground. It was slow getting moving. But 2017, we started out of the gates just like a ball of fire. We were really moving units right away, beginning of the year in 2017, and I'm like, we got to get down here. We got to try something to get into Longwood Gardens. So my sales rep and I, we actually stopped. And one day we went in there to where you buy the tickets to go into the garden, and we're like, hey, can we talk to somebody who has something to do with mowing the lawn? And they're like, yeah, we don't know who that is. We have no idea. And I came to find out later on that they really didn't know because it's such a big operation down there. And there's actually a lot of people that are there working that don't actually work there. They're volunteers. They're just out there helping out because it's such a cool place to go, and it gives them something to do, and it's an awesome place. So we left business cards and everything, and nothing. And then I'm admitting this now live to all of you, so that she can never say that I never tell anybody about this part. But turns out, couldn't figure out how to get in there to talk to anybody or who to talk to or anything like that. Miss Amaretto finds out who we need to talk to and how to go about getting in contact with these people. That was it. Next thing you know, I'm giving them the information, and they give us a call, and they said, hey, we got this information. Tell us a little bit about these mowers. So I did, and they're just like, yeah, we don't really have a use for them. And I'm like, just try one out. Just let me bring one down there and try it out. Just give it a whirl. See what you think. So I head down there with a 450X, and by this time, my sales rep had quit. He left Husqvarna, went to work for somebody else. And so I'm like, oh shit, now what do I do? Because I want to take a demo unit down there. I don't have a unit to take down there and demo because we're selling through them as fast as they're coming in, and I don't have a sales rep to get a demo unit from. So luckily, in the meantime, before they found a replacement rep for our area, Husqvarna had hired a new commercial rep, and he was going to cover Pennsylvania. I want to say like Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. And when I'm talking to some of the people down there, I'm like, hey, I don't got a rep. I need a mower because this is a huge deal. It took forever to get in here, and this is like the place, to put one of these at. And they said, oh, well, okay, well, we got this new commercial rep. We're going to send him your way. That way you can kind of help him to learn what's going on with these things and all that stuff. I'm like, perfect. So he was excited because one of his first weeks on the job, his job was to sell commercial equipment, zero turns, pole saws, chainsaws, arborist equipment, hedge trimmers, leaf blowers, all that good stuff. And there he is, he's already got a way in to talk to the people at Longwood Gardens. So score for him. So yeah, of course, he was all about it. We go down there and we install this 450X in this area behind the conservatory, or kind of behind it, off to the side. If you walk into the conservatory and you go the right way, you can see it out there. And when we got it installed and we're there and we're checking everything out, people are coming by and like, "What's that thing? Oh, what's that doing?" Because they're just curious about what all these people are doing standing back there. And we left it there for like a week, and they called like, "Hey, the mower's doing good, but it's a bit overkill for this small little area, and it's just attracting too much attention. Can we move it somewhere else?" Yeah, no problem. So I got back down and moved it to another area where they were actually hoping to be able to use one of these at, and put it out there, and the mower worked perfectly. It did everything it was supposed to do. They were pleased that it did what they were expecting it to do, or what they were, I should say, what they were expecting to do. They were pleased that it did what they were hoping it would do in this area. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So you guys want to get one or two? And no, can't. Oh, why? Well, they said it doesn't cut high enough, and at the time it was a 450X, so it only had a maximum cutting height of 2 3/4 inches. They were cutting everything else with their zero turns at 4 inches, and they wanted it to all be the same. Like, ah, great. Finally get in here, and there we are. Epic fail, right? Well, it was a failure, but I don't know if it was epic. Not compared to what happened next. So I said, okay, no problem. If we find a way to get it to cut a little bit higher, or something else comes out, I'll definitely let you know. Okay. So, like I said, that was 2017. By the end of 2017, the writing was definitely on the wall that the dealership I was working for was all but doomed. The newer owner just couldn't keep it afloat, and so 2017 came and went. Beginning of 2018, I left, went to another dealership. They didn't sell Automowers. Eventually, I got them to bring in Automowers because there was just a demand. People were reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I want one of them. Hey, are you going to be able to sell me one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let me see what I can do here." So I finally talked them into bringing them in. And 2018 was just kind of more of the same as it was in 2017. But at the end of 2018, that's when he announced, "Hey, guess what we're coming out with next year? We're coming out with the XHs, high cuts, 3.5 inch maximum cutting height." And I'm like, "Oh, it's not 4 inches, but it's a lot closer to 4 inches." So then it was in the spring of 2019, waiting and waiting and waiting for one of them to arrive. And when they finally came in, contacted the people in the department down there at Longwood Gardens who I talked to and deal with. And I'm like, "Hey, they got a new model out. It cuts higher. It cuts 1 inch higher, so your maximum cutting height is going to be 3.5 inches. It's close to 4, right? You want to give it a whirl. I can bring one down. We can try it out. Just see what you think." Yeah, yeah, they were all for it. So I take this 450XH down there, set it up in the same area where they're hoping to use an Automower, and it runs for like a week and gets all these wheel motor errors. I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me. This is kind of embarrassing." So I go down there and I replace the wheel motor on the one side. It had the most errors and everything, and like 2 days later, a whole bunch of wheel motor errors again, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is not good." So tech support was like, "Well, it's kind of weird that both of them be failing right away. Just replace the main board, and we'll see what happens." I replace the main board again, like not even 2 days later. Wheel motors are acting up. I go back down there. I split the mower open. It had just given a motor error right before I got there. I mean, it had been out there for like maybe half an hour mowing, and well, I shouldn't say half an hour. It's probably closer to an hour. It was out there mowing, and when I split that mower open, those wheel motors were just red hot. And I'm like, "Oh my god, so close! We were so close." The 450X did the job, and it worked fine. It just didn't cut high enough. Now we got a mower that cuts higher, and it's blowing out wheel motors because that was at that point where the when the XHs came out, everybody's like, "Well, they're the same thing as the X's, just they cut a little bit higher, and the top of it's different." Turns out, the body of the mower, because it's wider, it's taller, it's got more weight to it. They put two weights under the battery on the 450XH to help it get better traction. So the lower chassis is going to have a little bit more weight to it. Just overall, it's got a bit more weight. and size to it than the low cut mower, and this thing was running on a hill, a steep hill, steeper than what it should have been. So it's just with that extra weight and everything, and that was at the time where they were having the issues with the grease and the wheel motors. It just wasn't going to do it. It wasn't going to make it. There wasn't a solution to keep those wheel motors from overheating and burning up. And so I'm like, God, here we go. This is the epic failure. You know, the first one I thought that was bad, and that was only just, hey, it's good. It just doesn't cut high enough. And now it's like, oh shit, this is really bad because now when you have these kind of issues, it's not going to take long to be like, hey, we were already skeptical about this new technology and this newfangled equipment, and if this is what it's going to be like, we don't ever want to see this again. Like, damn. So I'm like, hey, I'll see what I can do. And again, if they come out with anything better, I'll let you know as soon as I have something. So that was 2019 and 2020. They announced that they were coming out with the all-wheel drives, right? But what happened in 2020? COVID happened. So COVID happens, and Longwood Gardens is shut down for months and months and months. Nobody coming through the gates. I mean, this is a big time operation, so you would think money's no issue. But at that point in time, it didn't matter how much money you had when you don't know when your business is going to be able to operate again and when you're going to have that revenue coming in. You're not going to want to spend any money, right? So yeah, 2020 was just a wash. I let them know, hey, we got these all-wheel drive Automowers now, articulating all-wheel drive. This is going to be it. This is going to be the best that I can do. Not 4 inches, but can you really notice that 1 inch? So then we go to 2021, and I said, I've got one of these all-wheel drives here. If you want to try it out, I'll bring it down and let you run it for a little while. So they were all for it. Took it down there. It was down there for like a month. It ran. It did the job. They liked it, but they're like, we had spells again here in 2021 where we were closed or we were limited capacity, and now we got all this construction work we're starting and these big projects. It's just not in the budget for this year. Ugh. Third strike, right? Third time and failed all 3 times. So I'm like, okay, well, again, if anything different comes out, anything better comes out, I'll definitely keep you in contact. I'll let you know. If you change your mind, just hit me up, and we'll get something worked out. So I thought, oh man, this just isn't. It's just not meant to be. It was really cool to be able to say that I had mowers down there because I remember the first one that I took down back in 2017. When that mower's down there running around and you're talking to customers and they're like, they're still so skeptical of this product because it's just something they hadn't seen before, and it wasn't like they could just see their neighbors using one all around them or anything. So, when they would start asking me about my experience and where have you installed them at, and I'm like, well, I got a couple here, and I got some installed in this area and this area. I got one down at Longwood Gardens that they're trying out right now. And as soon as you mention that, man, those eyes are locked on you, and they're just like, really? And all of a sudden, the conversations get very serious because that's the kind of place Longwood Gardens is. That's the kind of reputation they have in the industry. When it comes to anything outdoors, with plants, grass, nature, blah blah blah, all that stuff. You mentioned Longwood Gardens, and everybody's ears perk up, and they realize that, oh, okay, this isn't just some kind of toy, or this isn't some kind of gimmick here. This is a little bit more serious than what we thought. So yeah, it was really cool to have that, and say that. The other thing I should add there is, like I said, between 2017 or at the end of 2017, after I took that first one down there, and they said that it doesn't cut high enough. That was like middle of 2017, right? So from the middle of 2017 to spring of 2019. There's an entire year there, almost 2 years, that I had switched dealers. I didn't have anything, to take down there or nothing. But what's really crazy about this is in that time, when I called them in 2019 and said about having this high cut mower, I thought for sure that while I was gone from all that, while I was switching dealerships and everything, that somebody else would have jumped on this opportunity because when we put a mower in at Longwood Gardens, we shared some videos and some pictures, and it was kind of a big deal that a lot of people in the area knew about it. From that, I was excited as hell about it. So I was sharing the pictures with everybody and the videos. So it was amazing that nobody else around, none of the other dealers around, jumped on that opportunity. Crazy. So, but there I am, 3 tries, got nowhere. Then all of a sudden, here in 2022, get an email. Hey, you want to send me a quote for one of those all-wheel drive Automowers? Yeah, definitely. And they asked about some other equipment too, and I'm like, no problem. So I send them the numbers and everything, and just like a week ago, we finished the install. We put 2 all-wheel drives in there. They're there to stay. That's their home now. So from 2016, when I'm talking about this to my sales rep, to 2022, failed 3 times, and here we finally made it. Perseverance, right? Patience pays off. That underdog story, the determination, and just keep going back and giving it your all. I'm completely excited about that. It might not sound like a big deal, but if you ever go to Longwood Gardens or you talk to anybody around here, that is awesome to be able to say that. Hey, I have 2 of these mowers down there now. I installed 2 of these there at Longwood Gardens because it's such a big deal. It's such a big name in the industry. I just that's something I want to put on my resume every time that I want to put that on my business cards and stuff. Anytime I talk to somebody about mowers, I just want to be like, look at this. This is my mowers at Longwood Gardens. Look at that shit. Yeah, it's awesome. I thought for sure after the second time with that high cut, when his wheel motors burn up right away, I thought there is no chance in hell of this ever working out now. Um, and when I had the all-wheel drive down there, the first time I had the all-wheel drive down there, and there was all the stuff with COVID and everything. I'm like, damn, this just is not meant to be. No matter what, the mower didn't fail, but there's just something in the way, something stopping us. So just absolutely incredible. To me, that is such a huge deal. I'm so freaking happy about that we got that done. That's one to celebrate for me personally, because again, it was a long time coming. That seems to be the way things work for us. We always have to take the longer road around to get to where we want to get to or where we're aiming for, but eventually it works out. We just stay focused, have some determination, stay patient, and just put our heads down and keep going, and it works out. So, yeah, just crazy. That was a team effort. As I said, I give all the credit to Miss Amaretto as far as getting our foot in the door there, and then just had to take care of the rest and just keep waiting. So, yeah, Robotic Mower Services. We have Automowers mowing at Longwood Gardens. Proud achievement, proud accomplishment for us. To me, it was really crazy. I'm already excited just that this is happening. I'm down there. The first mower when I put it in, the first one that they purchased this year. When I'm putting the wire in the ground for it, I'm out there and I'm just kind of grinning and smiling to myself as I'm walking around there with the machine putting the wire in the ground, because I remember one of the owners at one of the dealerships that I took it, that I was working at when I took one of the demos down there, had really no clue what Longwood Gardens was. Didn't think he had ever really been there. Born and raised, as far as I know, born there. But anyway, lived in Lancaster County, so he's all his life, so he wasn't very far from it. And I remember when I got back, he's telling me, nah, that's not for us. That's too far away. Nah, they don't. They're not going to deal with people like us. They deal with big businesses. They deal with big dealerships. Now we just need to forget about that. No, that's not going to happen. They're not going to. That's just that's not going to work. We'll focus on other stuff. And I'm like, they're interested. What the hell are you talking about? It's not going to work. They don't want to buy from us. They're interested. So it's hilarious that the way it worked out. Again, we have this weird way around here of things working out that we couldn't even plan them to work out the way they do. We couldn't just set out for them to accomplish them the way they end up working out. And some stuff just comes out of nowhere and it's like, what the hell happened? How did we end up here? And it's like good stuff. So again, just very very cool. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to continue the relationship. It's so funny because, like I said, I was being told that no, they don't want to deal with. We're too small for them to deal with us and everything. Robotic mower services. You can't be any smaller of a business than we are. Just believe me when I say that you cannot be any smaller of an operation than we are. And so we sold them the Automowers. They actually they were interested in some other stuff, so we sold them some battery powered handheld equipment too. And it's been a great relationship that we've had with some of the crews down there. Even the first time when I took that 450X down there and we ran it, and that's the one where it just didn't cut high enough. I say it was a failure because they didn't want to buy one because it cut too low, but in reality, all in all, it was not a failure because we ended up doing some other business with them. They bought I think that was when they bought the battery powered telescopic pole saw from us. We sold them a backpack leaf blower or two and everything. So it wasn't a complete waste, that's for sure. And that's what it takes sometimes. It's not always about making the sale. It's, well, what else are you getting out of it? And a lot of people don't realize that. I'm saying that. Well, I just was explaining how when I'd go around and talk to other customers back in 2017 or other potential customers, just because said I had that mower down there mowing, like all of a sudden that was it, piqued their interest. That was awesome. That was something that nobody else had, nobody else could say. And the videos we have of the mower, just what it was doing down there at Longwood Gardens, and everybody could see, that this is definitely, we're not bullshitting here. You can tell that this is at Longwood Gardens because of where the mower was at and all the stuff in the background. And we got pictures, we got videos, we got just so much stuff that we could use to help us sell more mowers. We might not have sold them one at that time, but that experience and that just a little bit of time that we spent there with those guys and letting that mower run around, it sold us a bunch of other units through the years. So, you got to weigh that. That's a value right there. If you pay for marketing, you pay for advertising, you could pay a lot of money to a company to run ads for you, and you're not going to get that kind of exposure or that kind of attention or taken as seriously as we did with that little time we put into setting up that demo to run down there, that demo mower to run. That's what we try to do with everything around here. We try to get the most out of our time, most out of our efforts. So, we go out and do a job. We like to get lots of pictures to share, and video, so we can say, hey, look, this is what we did here, or take a look at that. Um, to kind of show the experience that we have, to show the capabilities, and this is what this used to look like. This is what it looks like now. It's not that hard. This is how you can do it. People, people these days, they like to kind of over exaggerate how hard some stuff is to do. Because I don't know if it's they don't want to do it or they just feel like it's going to be too big of a project or something like that. But there's a lot of stuff that we do around here, around home, outside, landscaping and and projects in the home here that we like to show people, hey, look, this is all it took. It didn't cost a fortune. It didn't take 6 years to do. Although most of my projects do take 6 years to do anymore, as I just told you in this story. But um, you know, we try to do that as encouragement. Friends come over and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that looks so cool," or "That's really nice." Oh, I wish I could do that. Yeah, you can. Look, this is all it took right here. Look at this. I got a slideshow here. I'll show you on my phone. This is all we did. You want some help? I'll loan you this tool or that tool that you need to do it, and off you go. Um, so yeah, that's my story about Longwood Gardens and Automowers, and the latest thing we can cross off of our bucket list here. I don't know if any of you guys caught the video on the Robotic Mower Services YouTube channel. We actually have a video up there where I'm talking about the award that we just won from Husqvarna, or AAP Award of Excellence from Husqvarna for we were recognized as one of their top dealers here in the United States. I guess it would be actually in all of North America. Uh, Very cool because we were the inaugural winner. So we got a video talking about that and just some of the stuff we had to go through to even get our foot in the door to be a dealer. And it's just similar to this story about Longwood Gardens because we had to take the long way around. We had to take the long way around to be an Automower dealer. We had to take the long way around to finally get Automowers in at Longwood Gardens. It's just how it is. Sometimes things happen right away and they work out like you plan. Other times it's like, damn, we're in for a long fight with this one, aren't we, if we want to make this happen? But you got to keep going. If you don't keep going, you'll never get there. You can't just be discouraged and walk away. I'm not telling this story to brag about us having those mowers down here. I'm telling it as, hey, look, I failed. I failed 3 times, 6 years to get this done. Have a little bit of faith. Don't give up right away. It happens to all of us. Not everything can be just instantaneous. Not everything can work out the way we want it right when we want to. But you got to hang with it. If it's something that you really are pursuing and you really want, keep after it. Keep putting the work into it. Keep putting the effort into it. Eventually, hopefully, it works out. I mean, if it doesn't, you come away a little bit more wiser from it. Like I said, if I would have just stopped right after that first demo, and I wouldn't have had anything else to take down there again, I was coming away with that with a ton of exposure, a ton of marketing material. We still gained something from it, and then even the epic fail with the wheel motor issue on the 450XH. Again, at least I can say I did it. I can say I tried it. I can say that I can say I tried and failed, but yeah, it's very cool. And we wouldn't have made it if we would have just given up after that second one. If we would have given up after the first one, we'd have been okay. If we gave up after the second one, since it was such an epic fail and embarrassing, and then we probably would have really held hung our heads down for quite a while. But yeah, the other thing interesting about this is we were on such a roll back in 2017. Um, when that new commercial rep from Husqvarna, when he started, Longwood Gardens was the second time that him and I went out to install an Automower. The first one was really crazy because that was actually at Clipper Magazine Stadium. I was positive that's how it went. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way it went. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was Longwood before Clipper Magazine Stadium. I have to look back at my notes and see. But at one point, there we are. We don't even have a sales rep from Husqvarna, and we're out there. I've got a demo running at the minor league baseball stadium in Lancaster, and I have an Automower running at Longwood Gardens at the same time. 2017. It was amazing. Just out of nowhere. And I do remember I was very frustrated. I was very pissed off actually because the way the marketing worked with Husqvarna, they were going to these places and they were doing like their Automower tour, and they went to Philadelphia and they went to Atlanta and these other places. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own freaking Automower tour, and went and installed the demo at the baseball stadium, the demo at Longwood Gardens, and a demo, another big place. And I think it wasn't long after that. That's when we put the one in at my buddy Gene Snitsky's place. So out of nowhere, just like that, in one season, man, we really took off with those mowers. It's just a shame that things didn't work out. As far as the dealership was already, it was already heading downhill, and it wasn't much saving it going into 2017. But yeah, it is what it is. It was all learning experiences. It was all building blocks to get to where we are today, and can't complain about any of it. All of it was good, even the failures. You got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn from your failures. We definitely did, and we were able to keep building on those failures and have more failures, and then have more failures on top of that, and then finally able to keep our heads above water and succeed. That's going to do it for this episode here. I don't want to really ramble on too much or start another story or go into another topic because we've been going for so long here now. But that's it there. As always, we welcome any kind of questions, comments, feedback, whether it's on the video here itself or it's through email, eshlemaniatv@gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what you're thinking, any questions you got, anything like that. Again, if you're anywhere near the Kennett Square area, stop down there. Even if you're just in Philadelphia, make the trip out to Kennett Square. Or if you're up here in Lancaster County, make the trip down there. Just right down Route 1, Kennett Square, again, mushroom capital of the world. You'll know it as you're getting close to it because you'll smell it, especially if you're coming from the Lancaster County side. You'll definitely smell it more so there than you will coming from Philly, but yeah, you'll know when you're in Kennett Square. So just go there and check out Longwood Gardens. Check out the website, longwoodgardens.org. Look up the history of this place and all the amazing things they have going on down there, their schedule, and check out pictures, all over the internet from the different seasons, the different shows and festivities they have down there. It's worth your time. It's worth your time just to check the stuff out on the internet, but it's even more worth your time and your money to go down there and see it up close and in person. So that's going to do it. Thanks for joining and listening along, and we'll be talking to you soon.